Thanks for tuning into the Urban Scope podcast. Today we have a topic based on Pusha T, Pusha T's comments and his praise for Kendrick Lamar and his pure hip hop ability. Um, this was a unique comment because over the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of scrutiny about Lil Wayne being snubbed for the Super Bowl since it's going to be in New Orleans next year. So everybody just assumed he was going to be a shoe-in for it. Kendrick Lamar has a huge year with the beef with Drake and his song "Not Like Us," and it was just his year. Lil Wayne, I can't remember one song he dropped this year. Now Lil Wayne is legendary. I think he's worthy of the Super Bowl. I just didn't think he did enough to warrant the Super Bowl over a Kendrick Lamar this year. And Pusha T is kind of echoing those sentiments, which most people might say, well, Pusha T had a beef with Lil Wayne, and he's not been the coolest with Lil Wayne or Drake for that matter. So you could take it with a grain of salt what he's saying, but the message is still pure. So regardless of the disagreements he's had with Cash Money Records and Young Money and Drake and all those guys, the message he had is pure because he's a pure hip hop artist. He came out in the late '90s and has been around Pharrell and Kanye. He's been around some of the best producers in the game. He's even did songs in the past. Well, he did a song in the past with Kendrick Lamar, and he's seen that up close in the work ethic that he had and his lyrical ability. Lyrical ability that's not really prevalent today in most artists. Most of it's drill rap and gangster rap, Um, he was asked in Revolt World about Kendrick Lamar, and he basically said that he basically praised him for his emphasis on lyricism and being able to not water down your music. And when he's saying he's not watered down his music, he's not catering to a specific artist. A specific audience. He's basically making the music that he has always made and hasn't really changed for anyone. Until lately, he's not really. The "Not Like Us" song is probably the only club song that you can really say he's ever had. But he was able to show that diversity and say, hey, when it comes down to it, I can make this type of music too. Um, I'm not just one trick pony. I can make this music too, but I prefer to make the music for my core base. I'm not turning my back on my base. I'm not selling out. I'm actually staying with I know best. And that's what makes it so unique that he was granted the Super Bowl. And I was shocked about him getting the Super Bowl because he doesn't usually make music for the mass audience. He makes it for the backpack rappers, so to speak, and like kind of like the intellectual. I won't say intellectual. Uh, More to say, he would make it for like the complicated rap. So that's not something you usually see on the main stage, but he was able to pull that off with his rap style and with his rapping ability and with his soulful type beats. Um, you barely see rappers on the Super Bowl stage solely anyway, but for him to get it at his for his ability and not be able to change, I think that's huge for the youth coming up. Saying you don't have to change who you are, you don't have to conform to society. You can actually go your own route and be your own person. So I think that was huge for that. And he did show his diversity in the rap battle. He was able to show a side of him that of attack mode because he's always a pretty laid back artist. But against Drake, he was able to like pick parts out, and you was able to see how methodical he was and how procedural or surgical he was with the rap beef. The way he was able to pick parts and flaws in Drake's rapping ability as well as his lifestyle and things that we're probably not even aware of because going through the Euphoria, the first album, well, this record he put out, it's so many different nuggets and so many different Easter eggs, as they call it now, that he was able to articulate in that song. And even to this day, you say, wow, he made that reference and I didn't even pick that up to now. So it was very procedural, very surgical. Um, and not only that, but Pusha T and Kendrick kind of have similar styles. Pusha T can be considered a dope boy rapper. He talks about a lot of drugs, but for the most part, his raps are integral. Intricate. He's very intricate in what he says, even though it's complicated D-boy rap. kind of similar to that of a Jay-Z. But it's always been lyrical. It's not been dumbed down. It's not been watered down. It's been pure hip hop from the way he see it. Also with a lyrical twist on it. So it's a difference between uh, a rapper that just raps about drugs and a rapper who actually is lyrical, who happens just to be mentioning drugs. And I think that's the kind of artist that Pusha T is. So Pusha T and Kendrick are from that same kind of cloth. So I mean, that's, they don't make music really for the clubs. They don't make music for uh for your typical college kid. They make music for those who in poverty, those who want hope, those who are optimistic about change, those who want to see stories of of similar of Tupac's Brenda's Got a Baby. They're making stories for those people who want to hear about, who want to see movies in the raps. So Kendrick raps so vividly about in his raps that you can actually see a movie. To Pimp a Butterfly is probably my favorite album, but just listening to that album, you're actually to take it piece by piece and actually see an album. He's spinning it from a perspective of, of a genuine purist. Most of these artists now, it's all over the place. They might talk about one thing and jump to another, but he's coming up with these albums that are just comprehensive and cohesive and just sonically pleasing. To the pure hip hop fans. But if you're not a pure hip hop fan, you might think Drake, Kendrick, or Pusha T is boring. Pusha T, when he first came out, he was with Clips with his brother Malice, and they had the song "Grindin'," which was probably like the only club hit that I can say that he's had recently. I mean, Pusha T has done songs with Kanye that were club songs, but they were not his songs. He just appeared on those songs. So he doesn't really make music for the clubs. Kind of like how Kendrick does. Kendrick makes music just for for his fan base, for his like little niche. And he carved a nice little niche out doing that. A lot of people didn't appreciate him before the Drake battle, but I always appreciate him as an artist. He's one of those artists that don't drop much, and I think he doesn't drop much because he's very meticulous. Which kind of reference to my other video I did about DJ Academic saying, Gilly saying artists don't rap. I mean, hip hop artists don't drop as much because they're scared about the first week sales. But I think Kendrick's a little bit different. He always sells 200,000 plus in the first week. All his albums go platinum, very successful. But I think he's just very meticulous, like a Dr. Dre. It takes years for them to drop these albums. So, and then you want to make sure that you put out a good product. You don't want to just make sure you put out anything. You want to make sure that you're satisfied with the product. You want to make sure that you're satisfied with the message that you're putting out there. So I think they do a good job of that. If we have to wait 3 years for a Kendrick album, I think it's worth it. Some of these artists, they should be dropping every year because, like I said, I don't think it's worth waiting for 4 or 5 years for some of these albums. But definitely a Kendrick album or a Pusha T album, I would wait 3 years for those. So that's just my thoughts on that. So tell me what you think about this topic about Kendrick Lamar being praised by Pusha T for his Super Bowl appearance. Thank you for tuning in to another episode.